come to my topic for the day, which is proposal writing.
That is under the question number 2, the second part.
Yes, that is 2B.
Yeah, 2B.
Question 2B is proposal writing. Now, this is a very scoring topic. When you attend this topic, you're sure to score. You only have to know how to write a proposal. Now you see the important things for proposal writing. If you follow the slide, the proposal writing carries 10 marks. Very easy to score. There are certain things you have to remember. First thing is, give a heading. Then you have to give an introduction. You have to write the statement of objective. You have to write the list of measures. You have to write a concluding sentence, and you put your signature. Now you're thinking, what are these things? Okay?
And I'm interrupting you for a second.
Yes, sure.
In this segments, there are each segment contain different number.
There are marks allotted for different segments.
Okay.
So only for following the steps, the students can score well.
Okay.
All right. Then comes how to attempt a proposal writing.
Right.
Okay. Now, the first thing is, what is a proposal? Why proposal? Proposal is a kind of a plan or a suggestion for a program which you put forward for approval or consideration. So you have a plan in mind which is given in the question paper, and for that plan you need to write a proposal. Now what do you do with the proposal? If I can get back to the slide again, I'll tell you why I have written certain things in black and certain things in red. The slide please, for the proposal writing, question number 2B. You see, you give a heading. Now the things written in black are the things you have to include in the proposal. Without writing, give a heading. Don't write, give a heading. You just give a heading. But those 3 in red, introduction, statement of objectives, and list of measures, are the 3 subheadings that you will need to write when you are writing a proposal. So you have to write introduction and then write the introduction. You have to write statement of objective and then you have to write the statement of objective. Okay. Then you have to write list of measures. Then you write down the list of measures. And then you end your proposal with a concluding sentence. And then finally, you put your signature. That is how you attend a proposal writing question. Now let us take a specimen question for proposal writing. What will be the question? Let us take it, maybe go to the next slide. So, here is a proposal, a specimen proposal. As the president of the student council, you want to organize a newspaper collection program. Write a proposal stating the measures you would take for an effective outcome of the program. So your question is clear. As the president of the student council, you want to organize a newspaper collection program. Write a proposal stating the measures you would take for an effective outcome of the program. So how do you go about writing the proposal? You see, there is the written proposal for you, and you can see that. First of all, you give a heading. What is the heading? The next slide, please. Yes, proposal for newspaper collection program. That is your heading. Now, where are you getting the heading from? You are getting the heading from the question paper itself. It's given in the question paper. So you put down that heading. It's a proposal for newspaper collection program. Simple as that. You see how simply you can attempt your question. You don't have to think much. Then you give the introduction. Introduction, or it is also called heading, but I'm using the word introduction because I've already used a heading before that, proposal for collecting newspapers. Now, what do you write in the introduction? We propose to have a newspaper collection program for a month to raise funds and contribute to missionaries of charity for social welfare. What have you written? First of all, you have written what you propose to do. So you're repeating that. We propose to organize a newspaper collection program. You've got that in the question paper. Now comes your thinking. Why do you want to do it? your immediate reason for doing it. Why do you want to do it? You want to do it for raising funds. What are you going to do with the newspapers? So you're raising funds. What are you going to do with the funds? You are going to donate it to an organization for social welfare. So you see, your introduction actually has your program and the reasons for having that program. 2 reasons, remember, students. But be careful what you're writing. You are writing the immediate reasons for the program. You see, it's as simple as that. Now, suppose you write newspaper collection program to collect newspapers. That is not what you are supposed to write, because you have already written the newspaper collection program. So it is understood it is to collect newspaper. But what are you going to do with the newspaper is important. You're going to raise funds out of it. That's an immediate thing that you thought about. And why do you raise the funds? You raise the funds so that you can donate for social purpose. So that is your reason for collecting the newspaper. So that is your introduction. In the introduction, you write your proposal and you also give the 2 immediate reasons, or the 2 proper reasons for doing that thing, so that it helps you in some way. That is what you have thought about. Your objective actually is that. Then you come to the next step. You see, you remember those 3 red subheadings that I had showed you earlier? First is done now, introduction. Okay? Now we come to the next point. What is the next point? Statement of objective. Okay? Now what is the statement of objective? What do you write here? Statement of objective. In the statement of objective, you have to write the broader reasons. You know, the sublime reasons. Why do you want to start this program at school? Why do you want to collect the funds in this manner? And why do you want to donate it to an organization? Because you have something bigger in mind. You want to inculcate certain habits in the student. You want to do something good. You want to teach something to the students. As a senior student, you have to do this. So, what are you planning? You write that. This program will help students to learn to contribute to social purpose. So you see, just by bringing newspapers to school, they are learning to contribute for social purpose, and it will also inculcate habits of kindness among the students. These are the 2 sublime or the broader perspectives of it. You can also write, students will learn to save things for donating for bigger reasons, a bigger purpose, or for social purpose. Anything of that sort. So that is more sublime reason. So the objective that you are driving at, that means what you want to achieve through this program. You have planned a program, you have reasons for doing it. Now what do you want to achieve through that program? Just simply conducting the program is not enough. So these are the objectives. So you write the statement of objectives. Again, you write 2 such reasons in the statement of objectives why you want to go about with that program. So the program actually is defined here. Your program, why you want to do it, what are the purpose that you want to achieve through it. Okay? So that is the statement of purpose. So the first 2 points are covered for proposal writing. Now we come to the list of measures. You see the subheading, list of measures. What are measures? Measures means certain steps that you take so that your program becomes successful. Thought about a program. You are the senior student of the school. You are given a responsibility. You have thought about some kind of measures. How to go about with the program so the program becomes successful.
Ma'am,
So I was talking about list of measures. It's given there in the title, list of measures. You enlist the points. Step by step, how you will go about with the program. So what do you do for a newspaper collection program? The first thing, students will be told to bring newspapers to school. Simple thing, you see. It can easily come to your mind. Students will bring old newspapers to school. So students are bringing the newspapers. The first step. What will be the next step? The students have brought the newspaper. Now what? Somebody needs to collect the newspapers. Who is going to collect it? The house captains will be responsible for collecting the same from the students. So you see now you are delegating the job. You have involved a team. So the house captains are looking into the matter. So they are going to collect the newspapers from the students. All right? So they are collecting the newspapers from the students and your next step is done. Now what to do with the collection? You think you have collected the newspapers. Where do you keep them? You have to store the newspapers somewhere. So you have thought about something. What did you think about? The antechamber of the library may be used for storage of the newspapers. Now, look at the language. The antechamber of the library may be used. I'll tell you to emphasize on this point. May be used, you see. Why am I using the word may? You are asking for permission from the school authority to go about with your program, but utilize the school premises. Now, who is going to grant you that permission to keep the newspapers in the antechamber of the library? The school authority. So you can give a suggestion. So you write may be used. That's a suggestion. All right? The school authority may accept that suggestion, may suggest something better. But if you write can be used, that is a little rude. So you have to know what kind of language to be used when you are writing such a thing. As a student, you must know how to present something. Like, sometimes you say, ma'am, can I go to the washroom? Whether you can go to the washroom or not depends on you. But you're asking for permission. So what should you say? Ma'am, may I go to the washroom? It's like that. So may be used to store the newspaper.
Ma'am, may I interrupt you, please? You just try to follow our program and we will discuss it afterwards, ma'am.
Sure, I'll be right. So now I have done with the third step. So you have planned to store the newspapers somewhere. Now what is to be done? The newspapers are collected, the newspapers are stored. Now the newspapers need to be sold. So that is your next step. The newspapers may be sold at the end of the month. The collection may be sold at the end of the month. So that is your next plan. Now the newspapers are sold. What has come to your hands? Funds. You have already decided on what to do with the funds. So the funds to be donated to the missionaries of charity. That is your next step. All right? So you are planning the next step. Once the funds are collected, the funds will be submitted to the missionaries of charity for welfare purpose. You can think something more. You can say food materials to be brought for the missionaries of charity with that fund. Even that you can write. Now, you are the president of the student council. You have organized a program. You have delegated your job. Fine. But sometimes you need the supervision of a teacher. If the teacher is there, you know the program will be conducted well because everybody is going to listen to that teacher. All right? So what do? And sometimes, you love to involve teachers into your activities so that the teacher also appreciates what you've done. So now you're giving another suggestion. The whole program may be supervised by our SCPW teacher. And you name your SCPW teacher. Again, may be supervised. You are requesting your SCPW teacher to supervise that program. It is your program. And you are requesting your SCPW teacher to supervise the program. You see, your list of measures are done. Simple thing. What have you done? You've thought about a plan. Now, when you think about a plan, you definitely have a plan how to go about. So you decided on that and you have jotted down the steps. And your proposal is done. Now, what do you want? You want your proposal to be accepted. So you just end up with that one simple sentence. Hope our proposal will be accepted. And you put your signature. Since you are making a proposal, you also put your signature. In this case, because you are the president of the student council, so you put your designation. Neetu Kulkarni, president, students council. And your proposal is done. 10 marks are for you. You see, that is so easy. This is a new thing in your syllabus. You have to know how. Good afternoon.
So, ma'am, I have a doubt that what is the marking division of proposal writing?
Okay. Marking division of proposal writing. Okay. Now you see, there are 10 marks for proposal writing. 10 marks allotted to you, Ritik. Now, when you attempt the question, there are 3 subdivisions which you have to write. And there are other things besides. So naturally, the mark will be divided between the points that you include and and the expression part, because it is an English language paper. So definitely we are going to see the language part, the way you handle the language. As I said, if you write can instead of may, maybe half a mark will be deducted. But that is how the mark division is decided. Different points will have different kinds of mark allotment. And finally, we will also judge your writing by the kind of language that you are using. So a major portion of the mark will be on the content, the matter. But some portion of the mark, out of those 10 marks, will be kept aside for your linguistic expressions. If you make any errors, marks will be deducted. No error, the whole marks for expression are yours.
Ma'am, I would like to ask, writing a proposal, this will help the students to clarify their thoughts. And this episode, this TV program, can it be used as a reference in future?
Of course, there can be a question on this kind of a program as a proposal writing, that as the leader of your class, you propose to have a television classroom program for the lockdown period. That's a wonderful question. The students, you can always have a practice with this kind of a program. You write for introduction. We propose to have a television classroom program to help the students continue with their studies so that they can get guidance from the teachers from the safe distance of their home. That's the introduction. Likewise, you can have the statement of objective. Why are you planning this program? So that the students don't feel left out from studies and the continuity remains when they rejoin school. And then you list out the measures. You have to find a team of students. You have to correspond with subject experts. These are your list of measures. Gradually you go down to about 5 or 6 measures you should enlist. Because if you do that, you know your program is foolproof. You have all the planning for your program. So that is how you go about. You can have proposals. Yes.
May I interrupt again?
Yes.
Yes,
Kinjal.
your question.
Ma'am, I have a question that you have told us to write a signature at the end of the proposal.
Definitely.
But I cannot find a signature column specified in the council's format that has been specified by the council's proposal writing format. So if it is necessary to write the signature, and if it is so, what is the mark specified for the signature writing?
Thank you, Kinjal, for the question. Now, why are we teaching you these things? Report writing, proposal writing. These are all taught to you so that in near future you can utilize them. You know, when you leave school, you're on the threshold of leaving school, classes 11 and 12. So when you leave school, you have to plan out a proposal, you have to write out a report. So you should know how to write a complete thing. Who are you writing a proposal? So you must put a signature. That is the kind of a look. Like there is no mark for the heading that you give. But that gives a sense of completion. So you have to know how to attempt an answer and how to write that correctly. So you put a signature. And the specimen, you yourself mentioned, Kinjal, that's a specimen given in the council website. So that is for you to know how to go about writing a proposal. But when you write, it's your own writing, you end up with a signature. Okay? And then you give your designation. Now, again, as I told you before, that the mark allotment will definitely be divided between the matter part. Matter is what you write in the points and in the expression. So this may be included in the expression part. All right? So you need to put a signature to give it a sense of completion.